everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, February 25th, 2024. Hi, my name is Ashley. You know that whole thing that I believed really hard for the last 2 months and that was absolutely driving me crazy, but I was completely certain of? Yeah, never mind. I changed my mind. I had an epiphany. I was wrong. How often does that ever really even happen? I've had an epiphany. I was wrong. Yeah, right. Is she faking it? I think she's faking it. And I want you guys to tell me if you think she's faking it. That's our poll question for the week at yrchat.com. She's had this whole turnaround on Tucker. Is it for real or is she up to something? I can't help feeling like she's up to something, and I don't want Tucker to fall for it. No, Tucker, no. Keep your eyes focused on Audra. Do not be fooled by Ashley's fast turnaround and then start lying to Audra about it. The whole thing is a trap. Ashley has an agenda. I don't know what it is, but I saw the look on Tracy's face when Ashley tried spinning this whole story to her, and the look on Tracy's face tells me that something ain't right. If Tracy don't believe it, I don't believe it. Darn it. Darn it. Because I was starting to think, okay, well, I was being too harsh on Tucker last week. Poor defenseless Tucker. I was being too harsh on him. But I was mad at him for saying all the right things to Audra and then chickening out when it came to the thing that really matters, the I love you, and telling that to her while she was unconscious. And then hopping out of bed with Audra to go see Ashley when he said that he was done, like he was going to avoid Ashley at all costs. And then the second she texts him, he hops out of bed. And I thought, okay, well, but maybe Tucker's just needing to take some baby steps to get there. And maybe next week he'll say, I love you. Because I think that Tucker does love Audra in his way. But then, like, a couple of little crumbs of affection fall from Ashley's lips, and he's just pulled right back into her web. And I just think he's addicted to her or something. I think he's addicted to her approval and or addicted to her attention. It's like, in some ways, I think that Tucker knows that he can have Audra if he works hard enough and says the right things enough, and then they have sex. Then I think he knows that he can have Audra even if he screws up. I think he feels that he can have Audra. But Ashley is unattainable. She's just this idealistic thing for him, this ideal for him that is unattainable, and which he cannot resist the challenge of trying to obtain, possess. Yeah, that's what it is. I think Tucker likes the challenge. And then as soon as Audra lets her guard down and becomes less of a challenge for him, then boom, in less than a day, he's lying to her. So here's what kind of happened with that story. Ashley came to Tucker's hotel room. No, actually, in fact, she was sitting there when he showed up in his hotel room. Talk about creepy. Like, hi, I'm your ex-wife, and I just broke into your hotel room. Can we talk? Oh, sure. I would have kicked her out. I would have been like, security! But no, she's Ashley. And Tucker wants it. And Ashley gave it to him. Ashley told Tucker absolutely everything that he wanted to hear. I was wrong. You were right. I must have exaggerated everything that happened in Paris because I was just afraid of my commitment to you. I was just afraid of my love for you. And of course he didn't buy it at first, and I'm not entirely sure that he is buying it now, but she said that the car accident from last week, the fender bender from last week, gave her an epiphany. And so suddenly she is very apologetic and even affectionate with him. Like, she's basically right back to where she was at around maybe Christmas time when she was on a mission to reunite Tucker and Devon. I kind of think that Ashley's addicted to him too. They ended the conversation and Ashley went downstairs alone while Tucker stayed upstairs. And Ashley walked right up to Audra in the dining room, walked right up to her table, and they had a very delicious little snark session. Which, from the previews, it seems like that's going to be continuing next week. But this past week, Ashley sat down and, they were both being very cocky with one another. And Ashley, Audra, wanted to act like she knew something about Ashley and her mental state. And Ashley said, you know what, you go ahead and psychoanalyze me, little girl. This dynamic is about to change, which implies that Ashley is perhaps thinking that she is going to get Tucker back. Is that what she wants? To get Tucker back? And then as Ashley was leaving, Tucker came down the stairs and he saw the two girls talking together, and just as Ashley was leaving, and Ashley has this little goodbye with Tucker where she touched him. She touched him, kind of grabbed his shirt in a playful little way. Just touched him ever so slightly. Slightly affectionate. And then Tucker goes back to the table with Audra, and Audra asks him point blank, what is up with Ashley? Is this the first time that you've seen her? And he says, yes, this is the first time I've seen her today. I haven't seen her until just now. So he covered up the conversation that had just happened upstairs. He hid it from Audra. And then in an episode later, he was real interested in the conversation between Ashley and Audra. And what did Ashley say? Oh, she said the dynamic was changing. Okay, well, why? Why are you so interested, Tucker? You said you were done with Ashley. Is he suddenly making some space for the possibility that Ashley might want him back, but he still wants to keep Audra on the line just in case? Or does Tucker just instinctively not want to end up like Danny with two women fighting over him like dogs over a bone? Don't you just hate it when people show up at your apartment and will not leave? They just take the place over and then suddenly you have to leave to go get some peace and quiet. Flash 2. Daniel, whose apartment has basically become Danny's apartment. Danny's apartment / practice space. If anyone knows how Danny feels having to leave to get away from the drama, it's Daniel. Because Daniel was like, sure, Dad, you can stay at my place over Christmas break in my new apartment that I just decorated myself for myself. And now it's almost March. And Dad is taking over the dining room table with his keyboard and his lady drama. Oh, poor Daniel. Because Dad being there also means that Mom is there more often, and Daniel has to be thinking, great, this is just what I need. I got my own life's drama. Now I got his life's drama under my roof, too. I don't care. I love it. I think it's hilarious that Phyllis and Christine both had the same idea to bring Danny a gift to soften him up. And the gifts were both completely opposite gifts, just like the two women themselves. Phyllis brought Danny his favorite Brunello, which is a wine, I believe. And then Christine brought Danny a chai tea, which sounds lovely and would be my preference. So it was red wine versus spiced tea. I mean, does that summarize this whole plot perfectly, or what? Well, right after Phyllis showed up with her pitch, Christine showed up with her pitch, and the two women started arguing so heavily that Danny just left. He just left. I thought that was great. They're both, I mean, Phyllis and Christine are like arguing. I mean, they even took it to the octopus. They were really going, they were digging up all the old dirt and really going at it. And then all of a sudden, both women just looked back behind them, and there was this empty space where Danny used to be. Oh my gosh. I thought that was also just so representative, because this triangle is almost more about the rivalry and the history between these two women than it even is about Danny. And I think Danny was right to walk away. I know there's a lot of criticism of Danny, but I love how he's playing this. He's just like, look, you guys, I like you both, but I don't like this drama. I really like this drama. I really, really do. And I liked Lauren weighing in on it, giving Danny the perspective that he needed to hear, because Danny goes, like, after he leaves the apartment, he goes to the bar and he runs into Lauren and he explains what's going on. And Lauren said, well, wait a minute. You love Christine. I know that you love Christine. And if you're letting Phyllis come in between you two for even 1 second, then maybe you do have romantic feelings for Phyllis. Maybe you have feelings for her too. Maybe you have feelings for them both. Yes, because Danny has been claiming all this time that he just wants friendship with Phyllis. Friendship. And Lauren's the first one that says, well, maybe it's not just friendship, Danny. If you're letting this go on, then subconsciously, maybe it's not just friendship. Maybe you have romantic feelings for them both, which I think is very wise words from a woman who has been in a couple of triangles in her day. You know, I liked that. I liked that a lot. The only problem with the storyline for me is that I believe that Danny has everlasting love for Christine. Like, that is it's no brainer. It's not a hard sell for me to believe that Danny loves Christine. And I also believe that Danny could find Phyllis's fire and determination and sex appeal very irresistible. Phyllis is an irresistible, sexy, fiery woman, and hell yeah, Hell yeah, he probably is looking at her. What I don't believe about this story is that Phyllis really truly loves Danny. I believe that Christine really truly loves Danny, but Phyllis's feelings for Danny, to me, come off as way more obsessive than romantic. That's always how it's been. Obsessive. Way more obsessive than romantic. That's always how it's been, and that's probably always how it will be. Finally, we had the Valentine's Day date, romantic date that we were asking for between Nikki and Seth. Ooh. For Seth, I think it was a date. Because he is so clearly in love with her. And I'm really not even sure if he knows it. It's kind of cute. It's kind of creepy, but it's kind of cute. He's so overzealous, he's like, Nikki was kind of like no. She said no a couple of different times in a couple of different very nice ways, and he just wasn't getting it. She's like, no, I can't be your sponsor. And then he says, well, but can't we be friends? And she's like, no, not really. And then he's like, well, but can't we just go out for coffee sometimes so that I can gaze into your eyes? And I think Nikki's just so kind-hearted. She just doesn't know how to say no very firmly. Or she couldn't just say no. I mean, he's a nice guy. And I think she feels guilty for, that he would be off the wagon due to her. And so she's, trying to give him little leeways. And Jordan is, of course, right there using Seth's admiration for Nikki to make him kind of a unwitting plant, I guess. I mean, I guess I don't totally know what her plan is or was for Seth. I kept thinking, what's she gonna do? Strap a bomb to him and send him out to the ranch? I mean, we had that gorgeous scene of Seth standing outside of the ranch. Classic green screen. It was lovely. I mean, we're getting a lot of effects lately, but I don't trust them. That's the thing. They're hardly ever benign. Like, if Y&R is giving us effects, it always ends up turning into something like, ooh, what's going to happen here? A beautiful car ride's going to turn into a car accident. So I was nervous that the green screen of Seth outside the house was going to turn into Nikki and Victor's house blowing to pieces right behind him or something. But that did not happen. No. Jordan just got Seth all wound up. He is like a little wind-up toy, and she just cranked him up and sent him over to Nikki's, begging for forgiveness, basically. I guess the plan was just so that Jordan could send him there and then have him report back how Nikki's doing, like give her the information on Nikki's well-being. Well, to Jordan's disappointment, I'm sure, Seth reported back to her that Nikki is not drinking. She's doing great. But we also know that Nikki is now feeling very trapped. Victor's made it so she can't leave the house. Victor doesn't want Nikki leaving the house because Jordan is on the loose and we don't know where she is and we have to get her. So Nikki is feeling trapped in her beautiful glass tower, which to me sounds like the perfect life. I do not see the problem personally, but if I understand it's Nikki's different personality. She must want to leave the house. I can't relate. she must want to leave the house, but Victor is keeping security very, very tight. Gosh, Lauren had to smuggle her out of there just to go get a cup of tea at Crimson Lights. The security was around them and everything, and so she doesn't feel that it's private. You know, I mean, she doesn't want to live like this. It cannot go on when you're Nikki Newman. But Victor and Nikki both have plans that they want to bait Jordan, and Nikki has done it directly. She has told Jordan to come and get her. So Nikki is really looking over her shoulder all the time, just waiting for when Jordan's going to pop out of the shadows with, I don't know, a butcher knife or something. And Victor is also working on his plan. He's planning on busting Claire out of the mental health prison, hoping that she can lure Jordan from out of the shadows and accept his fake apology. Okay, well, I guess busting Claire out of the mental health prison really isn't going to be too hard, since we have Crackerjack attorney Michael Baldwin right there on duty to exploit the fine print. Poor Connor. I mean, really. Hasn't this kid been through enough? Now we have to give him OCD. I mean, what's the point, really? What's the point? Just to give Adam and Chelsea something to bicker about and then come back together over? Is that it? Is that the reason? Is the plot reason? Or what's the plot reason? Do we need to show Adam making attempts to control his need to control? And then that supposedly bolsters Adam and Sally romance. I don't get it. I don't need it. I don't get it, and I don't need it. It's unnecessary. Adam and Sally are fine. If anything, it's Billy and Chelsea, I think, who need the story. But this isn't it. It just off-screen kid drama is just so off-screen, you know? I need on-screen action. On-screen. And so that is why I think that bringing Sally and Chloe into the Newman umbrella, having their business come work with Newman Enterprises, I think that's a good idea, because then we can actually see them. We can see Sally interacting with grouchy Victor and Superman Nick, and then we can see Chloe interacting with Adam, slowly realizing that she doesn't hate him and that she, in fact, loves him. And then we have a proper triangle. Then we have something going on. Then we have something to talk about. Adam, Sally, Chloe, triangle. I'm never going to give up on that, you guys. Love and hate are not that far apart. Amanda is back. All right. What do you guys think of that? You love it? I love Amanda. She's acting as Jill's proxy right now, I guess, because Amanda's been asked by Jill to see that this whole ridiculous name change drama goes through. And she's supposed to try to unite the two sides in the process, which is way easier said than done. Ugh, the name change thing. Whatever, fine, let's change the name and then move on. I would love to just move on to something, again, more tangible, like a music festival. I am totally in love with this idea. It didn't work out before, but I would love to see it come to fruition now. So we have Billy and Jill representing the Abbotts at the company. And by the way, Billy declared this week that he is more Jill Abbott than John Abbott. And I thought that was great and true. And then at the company, we also have Lily and Devon and Nate representing the Winterses. And next week, we saw Mamie suggesting that it's time to go for the complete takeover now. So that's interesting. And then we have Chance as the lone representative of the Chancellor side of the family. And Chance comes up with the idea this week that a music festival would be a great investment for the company. Pan 2, Nate's face, looking all smug, thinking, oh, yeah? You think so? Oh, a music festival, huh? Okay, well, there's an idea. Wish I would have thought of that. And I did. And Devon shot me down. But let's go ahead and let you pitch this. I'll even help you. Tell you what, I'll even help you. See, I think if we can just get through this name change drama, which is a total miss for me, then it would be a fantastic idea for 2024 to see Abbott, Chancellor, Winter, whatever you want to call the company, everyone in the company planning an actual music festival. We could spend all spring long seeing flyers and posters and doing mock-ups and logos and seeing people scheduling bands and just making plans for this music festival, arguing over it. And then in the summer, we could actually see the music festival come to fruition, especially since we have a green screen now. We have access to a green screen now, apparently. And we saw Chance and Summer go into that concert a couple of weeks ago. So this could be really, really perfect. And it would be a story that actually has a payoff. Please, Y&R, tell me that this is where we are going. Please, Y&R, tell me that we are on the same page here. Speaking of Chance and his big ideas, Chance had the idea last week to say, hearts are unpredictable, and garnered him the quote of the week. Hearts are unpredictable. It is true, Chance. He was talking to Summer. They were on their date, the kissing date with Phyllis and Nick in the corner, and they were talking about their divorce, and Chance just said, well, I mean, hearts are just unpredictable. They want what they want. What are you going to do? That was a hard one. Because it was early in the week and it was very quick and really anyone could have said it. But really, that was also the only romance that we had on Valentine's week. So I have to give extra congratulations to Ron and Dolores and wonderful Wendy and Henry and Justin and Brittany. You guys all guessed that was Chance. How about this? Everyone here has history. It's true. Everyone here has history. Who said it? If you think that you know, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And then if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Okay, let's talk about that poll question from last week. Should we change the Chancellor Winter's business name? I really can't believe 53% of you voted no, which is how I voted, but 47% of you are like, yeah, okay. If the vote opposite from me and mine is that strong, then I must open my mind to the idea. Why? Well, Tony says I voted yes to change the name, but not to Abbott Chancellor Winters. Why not change it to a name that reflects the business that they offer? What is that? That's the problem. I don't think we know. What does Chancellor Winters do? Technology, I guess? Well, we know they have the gaming division, and we know they have music assets. Well, Devon brought all of that to the company. Chancellor Industries was always come off as like a sort of paper pushy, like not, I don't know, they didn't like make anything. It was very administrative, Chancellor Industries. And then Devon had the music business. He had music and modeling, and that got folded in, so we know there's that. And then Lily decided to bring in Daniel's gaming. But as far as I know, Jill hasn't brought in any other types of companies since she bought the company. So I don't fully know what Chancellor Winters Abbott does, but I love the idea of changing it not just to names, to something, to reflect what it is the business does. But I'm sure that part of that is because Y&R doesn't know what they do. I think Y&R needs to leave it really vague in order to let some storyline be there, but then they don't do that. That's again why I think the music festival is a great opportunity to actually take something that these people are doing, but give us a better illusion of the fact that they're doing business. If Y&R was doing a better job of giving us the illusion that business is actually going on, then I probably wouldn't mind the name change quite as much. 47% of you think we should just go ahead and change it. Ellen the Rebel voted yes to the name change just to be spiteful to Devon. Please come back, Lily. Napoleon Jr. is driving me crazy with his king of the world attitude. Hopefully Amanda will put him in his place as only she can. Let it be. Yes to the name change, only to stick it to Devon. I love that. Sherrod says, even though Devon gets on my last nerves most of the time, in this case, I am on his side. If Jill had a problem with the name of the company, why didn't she change it a long time ago? Or when Devon first merged with her company? This is Billy's doing. Even if he has somehow convinced Jill that it should be changed, this is where Tucker is correct about Billy's ambition. Billy has no stake, money, in the company. It belongs to Jill and Devon. Billy, Lily, Nate, and Chance, even though the company bears his last name, are hired help. Yeah, that's great. A really great assessment of poking out the hole in, wait a minute, this is Billy. This isn't really about Jill. This is about Billy, and Billy has convinced Jill, and she's just giving it to him and letting him run with it. I think this is an interesting little bit of analysis about Billy from Gary, who says, Billy might not be a bad person, but if I lived in Genoa City, I would keep him at arm's distance as nothing but a casual acquaintance or friend. Billy always reveals himself as a too intense bag of trouble. I suggest everyone avoid getting involved in a personal relationship with him, and most definitely never take him on any kind of business partnership. Billy thrives on attention. He didn't get any growing up in boarding school, and he just can't help himself from stirring every pot he manages to worm his way into. If you think he's charming, that's fine. If you find him good looking, enjoy the view and leave it at that. Again, he is just a lot of trouble slinking around the town, bringing peace to no one. He has some nice scenes from time to time, but I frankly cringe when I see him coming. A very high voltage, intense personality, unable to blend into the fabric of any situation. Love him, avoid him, inside your own head, freeze him out. Gary, that's really great. That's really great. And honestly, I think a lot of what you said about Billy probably applies to Tucker too. It's just like, this is one of these people that you probably don't want in your life. There's not a lot of good that comes out of knowing this person. Well, hey, here's something that wasn't really touched on much. It was just hinted to, alluded to, and Naomi's going to dig into this for us. Naomi says, Kyle admits to his mother this week that he's struggling to accept that she's co-CEO of Jabot. Then, Diane just can't help herself and reminds Kyle that she is his boss. First, Diane is in conflict with Kyle when he makes decisions that are above his authority. She could encourage him for assisting her. Secondly, she's threatened by Kyle because he's making decisions based on previous experience that she lacks. Thirdly, she should be mentoring him for future advancement to her position when she's absent and or retired. Fourthly, Diane should be his mother first and foremost, but she's too power hungry. And lastly, if your parents are making you crazy, move out and get a life and eat supper at the Broken Glass Bar like a normal, frustrated, lonely guy. Oh, that's so good, Naomi. Yes, yes. This was an interesting little slice of pie, right? We had just the first little hints of trouble between Kyle and Diane. I mean, Kyle has been a mama's boy, very much so, over the well, I mean, all of this year. And now all of a sudden we're starting to see little seeds of discord, little slices of pie of a discord between them. I'm waiting for the whole pie. I want more pie. I want to know where this is going. We've had some hints of it. I've had a taste. I'm ready for more of the pie. We'll see. Maybe just the discord at Jabot will end up, the problem between Kyle and Diane at Jabot could end up making them easier to be taken over by Billy at Chancellor Winters. Abbott Chancellor Winters, that is. Well, Victoria says, it was great having Amanda in Genoa City again. I loved the digs she gave Devon and Abby. Underneath Amanda's professionalism seethes a woman scorned. I hope Amanda brings her verbal best so we can watch her erase that smug smile from Devon's face. And Sue W. says, I do love Amanda, but I think she and her woman scorned piece before she left last time. And if I recall, they had reached a quasi-peace with Devon and Abby, or at least a moving on mindset, unless my memory's wrong. So I hope she's above repeating it all over again. Yeah, and Sherrod says, Amanda had her moment about the betrayal already, for which I loved. But to me, the hurls she made toward Abby and Devon this time was not necessary and made her look like an angry and bitter woman. Not a great look on her. No, I agree with all three of you. I think that, I really like Amanda, but I think an Amanda coming back with a fresh perspective would have been better. New topic. T. Nicole says, for Nikki, I completely understand that being locked up in your house, no matter how large it is, feels claustrophobic, and then knowing that you can't easily leave, it can get to you. I mean, fresh air is underrated, how much it helps mental health. But if I was Nikki, I would curl up on the couch in my sweats and watch TV and movies and read books all day and have my chef cook for me. Yes, Tina Cole, same. Don't have to go anywhere, anytime at all? Sign me up. Grass is always greener on the other side, I guess. Well, Gary, I know you love this. Y&R's favorite new couple, Nikki and Seth. Who could believe that the incredible, surprising winter image of Seth outside the Thomas Kincaid Newman Ranch? Was Seth on location in front of the English Tudor, or was that just a black backdrop that he was placed in front of? I was not expecting that. And for an extra flourish, there was snow gently falling. Yes, I know. That was beautiful. It was totally striking, wonderful moment of the week. Being outside. It was green screen, absolutely a green screen. And I loved that they added the snow falling. There was also a beautiful shot of Nikki looking out the window. Nikki and window got blurbed up in my mind. Windy. Nikki looking out the windy. And there was snow on the windy. And I thought that was really especially beautiful too. They're always gorgeous with the lighting. Oh, wait, we cannot forget this is on a sound stage. Every time we see daylight peering through a window, that is created. And it is beautiful. We must appreciate it. Steven says, I do like the way that some of the points of the AA philosophy are making it into the show. Things like 90 meetings in 90 days, suggested by Nikki. It's nice to see a little education added into Y&R. Oh, I noticed that too. That jumped out at me too. 90 meetings in 90 days. I didn't know that was part of the program, but it makes total sense. And just even the philosophy is, if you are recovering from anything, having a daily practice of reinforcing whatever it is that you need to reinforce is really, really smart and necessary. Victoria says, Seth's visit with Nikki felt desperate. He wants so much to be a part of her life. I foresee Jordan hiding in his trunk as he makes another coffee date with Nikki. Victor's flawless security won't be checking this passive-looking gent's truck. Jordan will then hide out in the Newman Ranch. Maybe she'll find a path between the walls that I think JT used to torment the Newmans. Jordan does like that enclosed feel to her hideouts. Oh, yeah, she was hiding in the walls at her lake house, and then, oh, you're Victoria! I forgot, JT was hiding in the walls of the Newman Ranch. Yeah, you're right, that'd be a really great pull. Ooh, yeah, it does feel like something spooky's gonna happen at the house. Nikki's a sitting duck. I don't think it's going to happen to her when she goes out for a cup of tea. It's going to happen to her in the house. The villain will be in the house. Naomi says, Adam just can't stop being a chip off the old block. He's manipulating the facts and doing things without talking to Sally. How long before Sally gets tired of being the pawn in Adam and Victor's game? Yeah, I mean, I was glad she was, assertive with him as far as like, hey, thanks for making decisions for me without me, although I don't think that was exactly what he was doing. I think he was trying to line things up before presenting it to her as an option. But I don't know, I guess in general, I kind of like seeing Adam try to take control of some things and doing things. He's just becoming very bland to me. There's just nothing going on with him. I need him to start doing some things. Even if they're not nice things, I don't care. I just need him to do something. He's getting no attention, no story, no plot, no nothing. He's just Sally's little puppy dog, which is kind of the nature of their relationship. She scolds him and he says, I'm sorry. And she takes him back. I want more of that from Adam. More from Adam. Okay, well, Sharon W. says, would it scare Connor if Chelsea, Billy, Adam, and Sally went down together to visit him? Or should Chelsea and Adam ask if he would like to come home for a visit? Clearly his experience with this new school is not working out as well as we'd hoped. I'm secretly hoping that Y&R is bringing Connor back as a regular. He's a great young actor and enjoyable to watch. Yeah, Sharon W., I was thinking the same. Like, why do we not just bring Connor home? Apparently things are not working out at the new school. If he's having this much trouble, bring him home. New topic. Daisy says, I think Ashley has had enough of Tucker. So telling him that she believes he was right is the beginning of her paying him back. And when he least expects it, she will take everything away from him. She believes it will be well-deserved for his trying to make her think she was seeing things. And even though Tucker has reservations about what Ashley said to him, he will at some point believe he's won. Ashley will then ensure that she keeps telling him she was wrong so that he'll believe her. And Tucker will never guess what Ashley is doing. When he starts to lose everything and not know why, he'll think he's gone mad. I love this, Daisy. The idea that Ashley's kind of subtly turning the tables and is going to try to make Tucker think he's going insane. That is genius. Oh, I hope that's the case. Victoria says, well, Tucker is still spreading his influence. He's working hard to keep the always handsome Nate unbalanced and on the defense. Tucker's also toying with Audra's sense of commitment by holding off on her agenda and alluding to contact with Ashley when he promised to cross the street if he saw her. I look forward to more of his manipulations. However, I'd like to know a bit of his endgame, because a girl can't live with manipulations alone. Yeah, Victoria, we need to know something about what it is that Tucker really wants. I totally agree. Sharon W. says, Audra tells Nate that she and Tucker are in love. She also tells him that she and Tucker are building something incredible together. She needs to urge Tucker to hurry up in order to order those plane tickets to Paris before Ashley takes stronger steps to reel him back in. Yeah, it seems like if Audra and Tucker do not work out, certainly Ashley's going to be right there to take Tucker, or that's how it appears right now. And it does seem like Nate is taking an extreme interest in Audra and Tucker's relationship. There's something I didn't really talk about, because it's kind of just like, well, what? All right, I don't know. Does Nate want Audra? Does he not want Audra? He insists that he's just friends with Audra and he cares about her. But then Tucker says, well, I see what you're doing there. And Nate says, oh, good, well, go ahead and underestimate me, because that's when I'm at my most dangerous. And it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. You've been telling everybody, Nate, that you're not dangerous. So I don't know what you want. I don't know what Nate wants. I don't know what Tucker wants. I guess I feel like I know what Audra wants, and she's about to lose it. But I loved when Tucker tried to tell her that Nate has got a thing for her still, that he still wants her. And he goes, you're probably just used to it now. You're like so beautiful that you don't even notice guys falling over you anymore. And I thought that was, I don't know, there's just something about that. I was like, don't you just want that? Don't you just want to be Audra, where it's just like, obviously every man wants you. You don't even notice it anymore, the way they're just falling over you. I mean, who could ask for more? She's incredible. I love her. I love Audra. But Naomi says, I can't quote exactly, but I enjoyed Audra's response to Nate about guarding her heart. She said, some people get burned and become very wary, but I get burned and now I am fearless. I find this interesting. She says she had her heart broken and survived. Audra's survival skills have brought her through the heartbreak, and she faces life now without fear. We are getting more and more little character reveals, and I'm enjoying the introduction to Audra as a 3-dimensional character. Yeah. But Victoria says Audra's strength is also her weakness. Overconfidence. It blinds her to what is right in front of her. The example is Tucker's indecision. Yeah. Her overconfidence is blinding her to what's right in front of her. Tucker's indecision. That's totally good. All right, well, let's flip over to Ashley. Sharon W. says, I'm a little suspicious about Ashley's story as told to Tracy. I don't think that she went to see anyone in Paris. And as Ashley states, her friend is a psychologist. I think she's making up this story for Tracy and Jack's benefit so that they will back off and give her some more space. Yeah, she did she's telling everybody what she thinks that they want to hear. And here's Diana with an interesting point saying, Ashley said that her psychologist friend told her that Tucker is a narcissist and that he'll always manipulate things to make a positive outcome for himself. Ashley's mission is to make sure that she has the positive outcome and not Tucker. Ashley is going to hit Tucker in all the right places to make him pay so that she can get her revenge on him. Yeah, this is interesting because, Diana, the conversation about the narcissist, that does ring a red flag to me too, because what psychologist would tell her, or psychiatrist, sorry, whichever, I don't know the difference, sorry, but why would a professional tell Ashley that her ex-husband is a narcissist? Like, why would a professional go and make that leap, that personality leap on someone that he doesn't know? You would think that a professional would be like, I just don't know your ex-husband. I'm not going to tell you that he's the whole problem because he's a narcissist personality, because that just reinforces what she wants to hear. And it's like, okay, well, so if a narcissist is someone who tries to manipulate positive outcomes for themselves, well, don't we all? I know I try to have positive outcomes for myself. What does that say about me? It just doesn't add up. Gary says, do you see Ashley moving into a Glenn Close Fatal Attraction type situation? Oh, Lord. Sue W. says, no, I'm still traumatized by the Borgnine incident. Oh, man, no, Gary, we cannot have Ashley becoming a Fatal Attraction, because we know what happened to the bunny in Fatal Attraction. We cannot have that, Gary. No, but she is getting scary. Lara says, I got the impression that Ashley really rattled Tucker and knocked him off balance. I mean, he immediately went downstairs and lied to Audra about the meeting in his room. Yep, lies were his instinct there. Lies. Naomi says, I think Ashley's already dreaming of ways to torment Tucker and Audra, and I think that she's done being crazy except as payback. Why not just key his car and move on? I loved when Ashley said, little girl, to Audra, and then Audra replied, okay, lady. Funny stuff. Ashley will lose the attitude and the insults game when playing with Audra. Audra has the look that Diane does that can send a whole lot of messages just with a slightly raised eyebrow and the tilt of the chin. Yeah, Ashley called her little girl, and you know what Audra wanted to say was, okay, old lady. But she clipped it. She clipped it and raised the eyebrow. Yes, Audra has a lot of good looks. Sharon W. says, Ashley left the Abbott mansion screaming at the voices in her head, and then after a relaxing ride to the athletic club, she composed herself and freshly combed her hair and ended up in Tucker's room waiting for him to arrive. Her mood has changed, and she spoke to Tucker in a soft voice and told him she now believes him. Each day is showing us a different Ashley. Yeah, and Victoria says one of the soap blogs thinks that Ashley has a split personality. The additional trauma from the accident caused a vulnerable Ashley, and then there's the caution to the wind Ashley. This seems like an interesting premise. Oh yeah, I like the split personality idea. And she played multiple characters on Days of Our Lives too, so we know that Eileen Davidson can pull that off. All right, new topic. Connie says, Y&R fashion shout out for Christine's beautiful sweater cape. It was the best part of that silly scene between her and Phyllis. Yes, Connie, that cape was the fashion moment of the week. There is no doubt about it. Naomi says that sweater was upstaging both women. I agree, the scene was silly. Danny walked out and neither woman even noticed. Should have been funny, but somehow it fell flat, at least for me. Yeah, but the sweater did not fall flat. I mean, Christine is like, she looked like an angel. To me, I was getting like wings. Capey wings. Christine is my angel. She's my beautiful snow angel. And she just looks like she was ready to fly away in the cape. In the sweater cape. It was a sweater and a cape. The cape was attached to the sweater. The cape was part of the sweater. The fashion is just right on. I mean, and can you see how high my hair is this week? All that 80s, all this, the 80s flashbacky stuff is just really inspiring me right now. Look at this poof. Look at the swoop in my hair. I'll try to make it extra big here. All I need is a cape. Diana says, it's surprising to see Danny treat Christine with contentment. I think maybe contentment, the same way we see him treat Phyllis. I can understand Y&R wanting to try something new with this triangle instead of having a repeat of the past where Danny was all in on Christine and Phyllis was more of the underdog. But I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't have preferred to see this dynamic again. But I'm on board for a change. It's almost hard to see Christine trying so hard with Danny and chasing him for a change rather than Danny falling so easily at her feet. I look forward to watching the trials and tribulations of the three of them and how they're going to endure on their journey to winning Danny's heart. As a longtime cricket fan, I'm hopeful that Christine is the winner. Cape Christine. The Caped Avenger. Yes, you know, it's totally different, isn't it, Diana? It's like, normally the dynamic is Danny is sort of, he's been begging to get back with Christine for ages now. And now we see him treating her, I think, with, a little bit of contempt, just a little bit of like, you know, I'm sick of this. In the way that he does, same way that he does with Phyllis. It's like Danny's treating Christine and Phyllis exactly the same way with just like a little bit of, you know, and it's different and it's weird and it hurts and it feels strange to see Christine trying so hard to get back in with him. It's a total flip on the dynamic. And yeah, I agree that it's almost like I like the way it was. But at the same time, we got to be open to something new with the story. And I think that the triangle really only works this way. Because otherwise, like you said, it would just be Phyllis being the underdog. And that's what we expect. And that's not what we're getting. That's what we expected, but it's not what we're getting. Well, let's end with this from Daisy. Daisy says, after yet another Phyllis and Christine argument in front of Danny, I again thought it would be nice to see him and Tracy together. Their past, very brief marriage should not stop them from getting to know each other now and becoming a couple. I think I said this before, but in the 80s, Tracy became pregnant by a professor, Tim Sullivan, who she caught with another woman. She became very depressed and tried to hurt herself, and she told Danny what was going on, and he offered to marry her, which she accepted. Tracy miscarried, though, and she and Danny amicably parted ways. So, even though they had a brief past together, I think they could get to know who they are now, which would be very different than all those years ago. And in time, we might just get a wedding. Phyllis and Christine would be jealous and wonder where they went wrong. Oh my gosh, Daisy, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful idea. Danny and Tracy were almost married, albeit in a strange circumstance. But the fact that they were friends back then, that he cared enough about her, and we saw that in the flashback, in the COVID flashbacks, by the way, we saw some of those scenes. But that they were so close enough that he wanted to help her in that way back in the day, it would certainly be interesting, and there would be stuff to pull from the past to create a new story for Danny and Tracy today. I mean, isn't that amazing? I've been talking for weeks about how it would be great to let this be the year of Tracy Abbott finally getting her romance. And all this time, like, wait a minute, Daisy, this is brilliant. What if Tracy's grand romance is Danny? Oh man, that's good. That's really, really good. You guys are always so good. Thank you so much for all of your comments. Go to yrchat.com and keep them coming. Let me know your weird theories, your wild theories, your subtle things that you notice about the show, your big predictions and things you like, things you don't like, whatever it is. yrchat.com is the place to put it. And let's see, I guess I will be back next week to put it however I need to put it for you. Okay, everybody, I hope that you have a really beautiful week. I love you, and I will see you next Sunday.